Hey everybody, Tim here for tonight's episode of Star Trek. Oh, my fucking back popped. Of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 1, Episode 10, the Season 1 finale. I'm slowly catching up, slowly but surely. A Quality of Mercy. I didn't like it. I know, I'm sorry. I've been such a big, Strange New Worlds fan. Like, I've been the hardcore fan this whole time. And then I finally get to this one. Now, for anybody, not really anybody, for those that have stuck with me for all of these years, going through all of the Star Trek episodes, some episodes I don't like, even though they're really, really popular. They're not for me. And a lot of them typically are those, how would you describe them? Like almost like an alternate dimension, alternate reality. But even then, I like the mirror episodes, but it's one of those where it's the metaphorical episodes where you go through this journey, and when you get to the end of the episode, you're like, none of that fucking mattered. Like, it didn't happen. And that's kind of how I felt with this one. It starting out with, again, Pike being freaked out by his future vision of what we've already seen from, the cage or the menagerie, I guess. I was like, is this just going to be a thing for the entire series? Is just seeing Pike being scared of the future? Because I was immediately over it. Now, seeing Pike in him having the interaction with his future self was actually pretty cool. And the future self is wearing the uniform from the movies, from not even the first movie. It's like the Wrath of Khan movies, which I have a uniform of that I wear to conventions, and I almost thought about wearing it for this, but I was like, oh, it's too much work. But as soon as they did the time jump and it's now all hypothetical, that's where it started to lose me. And then, because they make all these little gimmicky things where, they talk about the doctor, and you're like, oh, is it Bones? But then Mbanga shows up. So I was like, that's not true. And then you do kind of what you assume is Scotty talking at one point. And then this whole episode is basically a recreation of the original series, the Balance of Terror, where we see Romulans for the first time. And there's so many shout outs and references, like when we see Romulans for the first time and everybody just looks at Spock. It's so close to the original series. But I'm almost a little disappointed because in the original series, the first Romulan that we ever see is Mark Leonard. It's the guy that plays Sarek. And so I was like, why didn't they get the guy that played Sarek in Discovery to play Sarek in this, or to play the first Romulan in this? That would have been 100% great shout out, great reference. I would have absolutely loved it. This episode also introduces the brand new James Kirk, James Tiberius Kirk, played by Paul Wesley. Now, I mentioned, 3 episodes ago? So, in the original series, we do see Sam Kirk, and it's played by William Shatner. And I was like, oh, is the same actor that's playing Sam going to play Kirk in this, just sans the mustache? No, of course, they had to get, a big-name actor. Now, Paul Wesley's great. The thing that got me is immediately, and this is not a disrespect to him as an actor or the field or whatever, Kirk is early 30s, which I am 10 years past that. So, seeing Paul Wesley as Kirk, I was like, bro, you're old. I'm sorry, he's older than I am. So, as much as I respect him as an actor, I've never actually seen Vampire Diaries, but as much as I respect him as an actor, and I think he did do a good job as Kirk, I was just like, you're too old. Kirk is supposed to be 32 or some shit. I was it wasn't doing it for me. As soon as we get to that point of Romulans and war, and I was just I was out. I was just I don't care about all of the drama, and because it's so obviously hypothetical and not real. And by the time we get to the end of the episode, like, oh, Pike's learned his lesson. Don't change the future. And which, even then, I was like, where are the two dudes from Deep Space Nine? Like, the temporal people. Like, why didn't we see those guys? So, I don't know. This, as far as a season 1 finale, I was a little bit let down. And then the whole cliffhanger ending of Una getting arrested, I was like, hey, that's the bite to go to the next season. But even then, I was like, this is weak. Like, this is weak sauce right here. So I don't know. I'm loving this show so much, and I'm so into it. I think this is, out of 10 episodes, I think the only episode I didn't like was the Gorn episode. So not liking 2 out of 8. I mean, that's what, 1 out of 4. Math didn't do well. I'm still liking it. That's passing grade. So I'm curious what you guys thought about this episode as a whole and as a season finale. If this wasn't a season finale, I might have liked it a little more. Probably not. I'd probably still have the same complaints. But I'm curious what you guys are thinking about it. Again, you guys are ahead of me, so I'm trying to blitz through this before the new season. Let me know. Comment. I will respond. Thank you guys for everything. I lost my little clicker. And I will see you guys next time for Season 2, Episode 1, The Broken Circle.